Despite all the positive expectation and good intention, no organizations called back, and nobody said, yes, come work with us, although I was ready to volunteer.
In the meantime, it had been 2 weeks since Vendi arrived in Banda Aceh, and the project was not going anywhere. Living in somebody's house also meant that he could not stay for too long. He just hoped something would turn out soon.
I could not reach anyone from Melbourne thinking that all organizations would be working in the field in Banda Aceh. And now, being in Banda Aceh, nobody will take me in either.
As the whole nation and the world were participating in the relief process, a province in West Borneo was responding too. Vendi was wandering around Aceh, searching for projects, with no definitive direction yet. Then he was asked if he would like to help out in a school building project.
I said yes, I would help. I agreed as I needed to get my project started, and the offer seems like I could be closer to doing fieldwork. The task was to build a school, a few houses in 2 locations in Banda Aceh, in duration of 4 months.
The project was considered ambitious. Not much was known about the location or the availability of resources. The aim was to have a school ready for the children from 1 year from the date of the disaster. To answer this request, the company increased their labour. They basically shipped a crew of 50 mixed-skilled men from West Borneo. The assignment was simply construction. The design and architecture were provided by a donor government. They had the task of building in 2 areas, in Kaju village and the Regency of Janto. The construction process was not as predictable as expected. On the first day of the site, challenges began to emerge.
Local communities wanted to participate in the building process but were not readily skilled, while the construction company was restricted by time constraint and commitment to quality. The instructions for the construction company were clear: build a school. However, the company was not instructed on how to build a community. They don't know how to build people.
The process of the construction project was difficult. They faced many challenges. Material was not up to standard. It was expensive, hard to obtain, and hard to purchase as there were thousands of projects all over the province. The economical challenges were not the only issue. What stood out about Aceh was the political challenges. We have to remember that Aceh is not a free territory. This disaster had opened the door for many local parties to speak out. The local military, police, and local community leaders wanted to be part of the construction. They wanted to make money out of this too.
In the field, there were monopoly systems resulting from injustices of poor governance. We were made to buy material from the police, the military, and the local leaders. I was an assistant project manager for the construction and was in charge of the logistics and procurement as well. I practically dealt with issues arising from the construction, material and management of available people. I think there was a new challenge every week. It has definitely made me learn quickly as I made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot of lessons.
It didn't get easy as the project went on. There was a scarcity of petroleum fuel that affected the progress of construction as there were rations for fuel. Queues at the petrol station often left people waiting for hours. There was also electrical shutdowns a few times during the week.
The construction of the school was indirectly affected as timber workshops could not process the material with need because they could not get the diesel fuel needed to run the machinery.
Not only was electricity being controlled, material in Aceh was very much a political issue, since the access to areas such as quarries, forests and rivers were often ruled by the military to restrict the movement of the GUM, or the Free Aceh movement.
There were either a military or a police post every 2 kilometers to monitor transportation of material, especially trucks, and every truck has to stop.
In the effort of controlling material, timber was another issue. The demand was so high, yet the law was so weak. Knowing the demand on reconstruction, illegal logging was enforced by the government, while it was logged and sold by the armed forces.
It was also clear to us during school construction that it was very difficult to avoid this sort of bureaucracy, especially when territorial control and natural resources come